Here at Gamewise, we've always had a soft spot for isometric RPGs. They're like that familiar old chair you sink into. The one that creaks in the same places, but you love it anyway. The kind of games where you slow down, poke at details, follow your curiosity, and lose track of time because you're too busy reading someone's dialogue tree. Before we get too deep, a quick shout out. Thanks to Owlcat Games for sponsoring this video. We've been checking out the full release build early, which has been a real treat. And if you want to jump in yourself, there's a link waiting in the description. Feel free to scroll down anytime and grab it. But yeah, let's talk about this strange little town that's been living in my brain all week. Rue Valley drops you into the shoes of a man trapped in a time loop inside a small, slightly unsettling town. It's not a loud game. No explosions, no giant set pieces, everything feels grounded and personal. Like the story is unfolding in rooms and alleyways that could exist in any quiet town you've driven through. Your characters wake up, try to make sense of the day, chats with the locals, pushes a few conversations too far, stumbles into something suspicious, and then the loop snaps. Time rewinds, you're back at the start, holding on to flashes of what you've learned. The magic is in how the loop works. It's not this punishing start-from-scratch situation. It's almost like a playground. Every loop is a chance to walk into the same day with a different attitude, or a different suspicion, or a different emotional energy. You leave fingerprints on the day even when time resets, because your memories stay with you, and the people of Rue Valley are really the soul of the game. On the surface they look normal, but talk to them long enough, or talk to them in the right mood, and you start noticing little cracks, a hesitation in their voice, a small detail that doesn't match something they said earlier, a hint they might know more about the anomaly than they're letting on. The game has this system where your personality actually forms based on how you talk. If you go in soft and careful, you'll end up being treated like someone who thinks things through. If you're dramatic, sarcastic, or just a bit chaotic, the game starts leaning into that. It reminds me of how Disco Elysium made thoughts feel like characters living inside your head. Rue Valley does its own spin on that through its mindset system. You collect these little mental quirks over time. Bits of behavior, emotional impulses, personal philosophies, and they grow into traits that change how people react to you. The memory graph is one of the most interesting mechanics in the whole game. Imagine a web inside your character's mind, where each important moment sticks, and that web slowly sprawls into something that feels alive. It's not just, you learned a fact, it's, this thought now colors your decisions going forward. As the graph expands, you gain access to new mindsets. Maybe you become more curious. Maybe you develop a habit of confronting people a little too quickly. Maybe anxiety creeps in and starts shaping your reactions. Whatever direction you go, those mindsets matter. They affect tone, they open new routes, and they give you options you didn't have in previous loops. Even your emotional state plays a part. If your character is stressed, you might respond with more sensitivity. If something spooks you, it might push your dialogue towards caution. If you have a drink, suddenly you're more outgoing and direct. The game doesn't treat emotions like stats. They feel more like shifting filters on your day. You're not just picking text from a menu. You're riding the wave of whatever your character is carrying emotionally. And the town of Rue Valley, it's smaller than the usual Owlcat sprawl, but it feels dense with meaning. The cafe, the quiet street corners, the back rooms, they all feel like places where something happened, even if you haven't uncovered it yet. And the cast is great. They're not shiny or exaggerated. They feel like real people who have to swallow a few too many secrets. Every time you replay a loop, you start noticing new angles. Someone who seemed friendly feels suspicious. Someone who seemed unimportant suddenly becomes crucial after one strange comment they slip in. To give you an idea of how this plays out, let me tell you about one moment that hooked me early on. There's a local mechanic who didn't take kindly to my character at first. First run, I stayed polite, asked basic questions, got the bare minimum out of him. Nothing interesting. Second loop, I approached him with a sharper edge, like I was already tired of his games. That changed everything. He opened up slightly, hinted at something simmering below the surface. Third run, I leaned into this ridiculous confident persona, almost theatrical, and he reacted like I was a completely different person. That opened up a totally new mindset, which later influenced a conversation with someone else in town. And that conversation unlocked a branch I wouldn't have found otherwise. This is the rhythm of the game. You experiment, you poke, you push boundaries, and each loop answers one question while raising two more. You start seeing how every little detail matters. It scratches the same itch as Outer Wilds, that sense of slowly understanding a closed system. But it does it through conversation instead of puzzle mechanics. Replayability is where Rue Valley shines the brightest. The loops aren't tedious, they're opportunities. Each restart feels like a chance to bring a new emotional style into the world. And because the game focuses on dialogue rather than combat, you're never repeating the same fight or grinding for gear. You're exploring reactions, you're testing theories, you're reading people, you're shaping your character in ways that leave a mark, even when the day resets. And honestly, seeing Owlcat take on a project like this is exciting. They've proven they can do huge epics with layers upon layers of systems. But Rue Valley shows they can also scale down, get personal, and still deliver something rich. Instead of ability scores, you're managing emotional impulses. Instead of massive world maps, you're unraveling a single town with a surprising amount of depth. It's a very different kind of RPG for them. But you can feel their experience behind every system. If any of this sounds up your alley, if you love story-heavy games, emotional mechanics, or the kind of RPG where curiosity drives the experience, there's a link in the description where you can download Rue Valley. Big thanks again to Owlcat Games for sponsoring the video and letting us explore the full release early. I'll also drop the link in the pinned comment so it's easy to find. Dive in, explore the loops, and let me know what kind of personality you end up building. It's been different every time for me, but that's the magic of this game.